I don't know how many people are going to come back to watch me at this late time. I am an hour late from tech troubles. Talk about feeling pain. Wow, tech troubles. Getting on YouTube live, that was crazy. So, I'm a little disheveled. Look at that. I'm a little disheveled. My lovely little bow coming out. I just tried to prepare myself to look a little fresh this morning, and instead, I'm feeling a little frazzled. So I'm grateful to come back into alignment with where I am, coming back to all of you here at YouTube and at TikTok. So yes, I'll be scanning my eyes, and of course I've got this gorgeous environment you guys can't see because I'm on my balcony and I can see trees and sky and everything. But I wanted to light up my face. So if I give you the view, you don't get much of a view of me. Maybe that's all right. I don't know. But today's transmission is about bringing you into ascension with your divine connection, getting that divine connection to your spiritual source. So some are going to say God, some are going to say Allah, some are going to say the great spiritual source, they're going to say higher power, and it is however you see it. You may want to just call it Shiva. You may want to just call it Krishna. You may want to just call that higher power, whatever you label it as. But it is the source of all life and creation. Now, if you are a person who does not believe in a creator and you're coming to this, my question is, what brings you here? Do you have a question about your own belief system? Because again, if someone doesn't believe that anything created us and that we go to nothing when we are gone from this earth, then I'd like to ask, how does something come from nothing? Yes, we have nothingness. And when we look into the nothingness, there is still something there, right? We have molecules, we have magnetic forces, we have ions, electric pulses and frequencies. So we know that nothingness isn't actuality, it's just a mental concept. Now, as I bring into the concept with you about coming into your divine connection, right? We really want to tap into what helps us feel alive when we wake up in the morning. And again, if you go into mentality, that might be the events of the day, what you were looking forward to doing. That might be the responsibilities that you're required to do. That might just be your physical urges. All of that stuff comes from your divine frequency, however. We have what's called a divine architecture by which we are created. And when we are born, that spark of life that creates that cellular growth that turns into the human being that is born is the building of our divine architecture. So when we finally come out into the world, that divine architecture is already installed. What gets created around that are our experiences, are our frequencies that we are open to, and frequencies that we actually try to connect to or even avoid. We want to avoid. So we may be looking at how we can get rid of a frequency that we don't really align with. So today, this ascension is about how we can overcome pain and how we can manage pain, how we can actually get our divine architecture aligned to the messages that pain is bringing. Last night was a pretty rough night for me. I don't know what it's like for you with pain, but I've gone through a lifetime of pain, and I mean that truly. I injured myself when I was 19, and yeah, I don't mind saying I'm 51. So you have an idea of a lifetime there of experience where I did not allow my body to get strong and heal and recover the way it needed. In that event, the body got weaker and weaker and more protected and more protected. What's so interesting is that in that time, I was also given a vision. I was given this glorious vision of seeing the light in everyone, really seeing how our divine connection is here on earth if we are willing to look at it, if we are open to accepting it. Now, I found, having some religious upbringing and having some learnings in the Bible and learnings from people who read the Torah and learnings from people who read the Quran, learnings from people who have studied many Hindu faiths, that our divine connection is a global understanding. And at any place, in any country, in any culture, you will find somebody who has that connection to their divine spark and their divine source. And my divine connection was shown to me at a young age. I just had a little too much other stuff getting in the way that prevented me from really tapping into it and growing in that direction. Instead, I was sending myself on exploratory journeys to understand the world around me and understanding my thoughts and my beliefs. Now, that is how I lived with pain for so long. I don't know if it's because I'm a woman and I have a higher tolerance, but when I finally came around to understanding where I am in my pain, I found that most people rank that as a level 8 out of 10 of extreme pain. Now, I work with clients who have extreme pain from spinal injuries and joint injuries or accidents that have occurred. And level 8 out of 10 pain for them puts them on really massively strong, like hardcore painkillers. For me, I rejected that. I didn't want that. So in my whole life, I found other ways to deal with that. Now, I'm really grateful that we have the ability to co-host or interact with people on TikTok. And I'm really grateful that I'm getting these requests, but I won't be getting any co-hosts today because this is an ascension. So I am just allowing people to tap in to understand what I do. I'm allowing people to get to know why I'm here providing the ascension instead of my partner, Alexander Oxford, because I want you to understand how I became a minister. I want you to understand what brought me into giving these ascensions as well. So getting back to last night, I had a lot of pain in my neck. I have gone for years of managing and learning about my pain and learning how to manage pain, overcome pain, understand what that pain is telling me. Now, it was telling me that there's weakness in my spine, there's weakness in my muscular system that's putting stress into my joints. And in learning that, I also started to learn about fascia, the way our fascia helps protect us. It gets very rigid and protective, but in doing so, it can also trap nerves. So we may get nerve interference. When I say trap nerves, it can also trap emotions. And I've experienced this, feeling emotional release when my fascia starts to move and the nerves are no longer trapped. I've also experienced this helping clients who have had emotional storage in the body. And when I move their body and move fascia and get more blood flow and release the nerves in those areas, those emotions come out and release, and the body is no longer storing. So these are all wild concepts that we can always break into more and deeper. So definitely make sure you put something in the chat if you'd like to do that. I would love to connect more with people that want to understand about emotional storage, fascial restrictions, understanding how the body can break down and at the same time keep us moving, keep us alive, or even feeling like we're thriving. And that's what brings us back into the divine connection, because we do have a divine source here guiding us, helping us understand ourselves, understanding our place in this world. There is a divine glow coming from you. And I wonder, if you look in the mirror, can you see your own glow? Can you look deep enough into your eyes to see the source of that light coming from in you? I had to do that. I found that source light within me, and then I was gifted the source light in everyone else. And as time went on, I learned that my human attachment in this earth has a purpose. I am here to serve a purpose greater than just being here and being conscious. So in waking up this morning, feeling the pain that I felt through my body. And when I say this morning, it was about 1:30, and then it was again about 2:45, and then again it was about 5:30. I woke up many times in pain this morning. I tapped in because of the experience I've had doing so, and because of the awareness that I have of what these messages tell me. I tapped in to say, what does my body need? What is my divine architecture trying to tell me with this pain? Hi, everybody there on TikTok. I don't have anybody live on YouTube right now, but I do say thank you for coming to watch later, because I know there'll be some people watching this later. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful for all the people that are joining me back here on TikTok, because I came on live and I had to cancel it and come back again. So we're talking about our divine connection, how to manage pain, how to understand our divine architecture, giving us messages. Okay. So when I received these messages, it told me, help. The pain is telling me, help, move differently, hydrate, go to the toilet, get in a better position. Don't use those bad positions that are causing more discomfort and pain. And I have a neck brace, so I put my neck brace on. I set up pillows. I actually moved to the couch so that I could get into a better position. And I had a good sleep for about an hour or so before I had to get up and move again. It's disruptive, isn't it? It's disruptive when you have that kind of pain that moves you around and you can't seem to get comfortable, and it takes ages to go back to sleep. And I get there are going to be some people that are not where I am right now. So for them, that's a miserable experience. But I wanted to not feel miserable. I really wanted to feel my body healing, putting on the neck brace, getting myself into a different position, getting myself into a better environment, and getting more resourceful with what my body might need allowed me to get some rest and recovery. So by the time I finally got out of bed and got up, which is why we started this Ascension late in the first place, was so that my neck could feel better. I could take that neck brace off. I could come to you feeling aligned in my body. So as I sit here, I move a bit to adjust my posture. I use muscles and squeeze to help my body feel a little rest and repair. I adjust the head so that I can give my spine a little bit of rest and activate muscles that are weak inside. And since I am using a camera phone that's a little bit more aligned, I'm going to be looking directly there. As I'm using a laptop and the camera there, I have to just scan my eyes back and forth and try to hold my head posture to stay strong. These are things that I do tell my clients to do when they go to work. Try and get that ergonomic situation aligned so that you're not putting extra stress. Now, again, these are divine messages. And why do I call them divine messages? That's because my intuition kicks in. My gut feeling, that intuition that just comes from inside, like knocking on the door of your brain saying, hey, listen to me. That intuition is the divine core within you that knows all, that resonates on a frequency that you can tap into with your consciousness. So this is what Ascension Transmissions are about. Bringing your conscious alignment into your divine connection to be more receptive to the frequency, the divine frequency that's already installed and connected to you, which allows you to get the true messages from your intuition when your mind and your consciousness is corroded or corrupted with a thought that is not truly in the frequency that you need. And just on a little tangent off of that, I want you to think about a thought that you've had. One that may have been a reaction to an emotional situation. One that may have been a reaction to a life circumstance. Now, if you think about it, you can get caught up in loops and you can get stuck in the mind, thinking and logically trying to negotiate all the answers and solutions. Your reaction might feel justified, and you might be thinking and logically comprehending the justifications for that. Now, stop for a moment. Pull back out of that mind. Feel into that. Doesn't it feel chaotic and frenetic? Doesn't it feel stressful to sit in justifications and try and negotiate logically through a reaction, a situation, or a circumstance? It does for me, and it has for many people that I've spoken to. When we feel into what we want, what do we want here? Does the circumstance not reflect what we want? What is the circumstance we want to have? What is that connection or that relationship or that communication that we're having with someone? What do we want it to be like? Now, this is where we tap into our divine coding, our frequency that our intuition, that gut feeling is sending to us. When we say feeling, when we tap into what we really want and feel good about, we are now tapping into that frequency. So I want you to tell me, if you can, typing in any comments at any time, typing any likes, if you're resonating with what I'm saying. I have all these people joining into my live, and I am very grateful to have some people watching. I'd love it if you could send some hearts through, send some comments through, say something that helps me know you're understanding where I'm going with this. That would be great. I really want you to understand that when we get too caught up in our thoughts, we're disconnected from our divine frequency. And I grew up in a family that was agnostic, right? So in spirituality, agnostic means, we believe there's something out there, but we don't really want to put a name on it. We kind of want evidence to validate those beliefs, but we're not atheists. We definitely believe there's a greater power out there, right? And I grew up around atheists, and I went through a period of my time where I thought the same. What I've come into, and why I call myself a minister now, and why I come into the place that I am now of understanding our divine connection and divine frequency, is that the greater power that has been shown to me has manifested in lots of ways in my lifetime. It's manifested in the people that I connect to. It manifests in the resources that are provided to me. It manifests in the life that I live despite attempts to end it. Yes, there have been those. Despite challenges, the constant grace being shown to me. That is that frequency. That is the divine frequency that I tap into and connect to, break from and connect to again, and break from and connect to again, until I finally figured out staying in that vibration and staying in that frequency gives me all that I need all the time. It helps me avoid the things I don't want and don't need, because they're on different frequencies. So the more I stay in my divine frequency, the more I stay strong in that vibration, the more connected my mind and my heart become, and my intuition is now 100% right. It's not steering me wrong. Sometimes you go, oh no, I really thought that was the right thing to do. I felt it. I felt like it was the right thing to do. We start to understand that intuition wasn't really being heard. It was our mind projecting what it thought it wanted, how it wanted it to be. It wasn't really connected. So when we get into that frequency and we get into that vibration, we now connect into the divine frequency that goes all the way through and leads us up into the greater divine frequencies that surround and create life and create opportunity. And that's what excited me about moving into this role. I guess that's what excited me about waking up today, despite all the pain and despite all the wreckage through my sleep last night. I had the notion that talking about pain today would be a really good avenue to bridge the concept of our divine frequency into getting an ascension transmission today. So if you have been following, if you've joined in a bit late, if you're coming into this live a bit late, I want you to understand we have been discussing our connection to pain, our connection to body, our connection to great source and divine energy. And now it's about tapping into that. Tapping into that to first be aware that pain is just a message. It's a message to tell us to look, listen, feel. So we listen to the body, it'll tell you a whole lot of ugly stuff. We're going to feel into it. It's going to feel pretty nasty when we're in pain. We're going to look at ourselves, and but I like to shrink. And the one is the way you're believing it is. Now, I have believed myself to be a certain way until I decided I wanted more. And when I changed and I saw myself the way I wanted to be, that was the start of my journey of seeing how divine and amazing a life is around me. And the pain got quieter. It was always there. Some days it would get louder, and other days it would just stay steady. The day came where I said, I want to really understand how to eliminate the pain. Well, it sent me on a journey. There is no eliminating pain, I'm sorry to tell you. Pain happens. It happens for a reason, yeah? I mean, you see a glass window that you don't see, yeah? Others will see there's a glass window and someone else doesn't see it. They smash right into it. The pain is there to tell you a message that helps you. Just to tell you some network issues here. We're getting some instability. So I do apologize if there's instability in that. But the pain is here to give you a good, strong message that you are a divine creature who has all the resources you need to help yourself in the circumstance. If that means asking somebody for clarity, asking somebody for a resource, asking outwardly for help, that's part of it. Internally, it's saying, what do I need here? How do I need to do things different? How can I resolve the circumstance here? How do I resolve my pain? How do I resolve the body aches? How do I resolve the injury? The resources are all here, and it's all part of that divine frequency of finding those resources that you need. So I'd really like to get into this ascension now. I'm feeling this glorious vibration. I am feeling that people have joined in and watched. We have some consistency here with people that are enjoying what we're saying and what I'm presenting here. Hello to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining in. So I would like you, if you'd like to join in this ascension, I'd like you to really tap in as a viewer of this live so you have an uninterrupted feed. So we're going to get into a meditation now, right? Meditation and a hypnotic state. What does that mean? That means you are guiding yourself into a relaxed state to absorb and receive. If you would like to absorb and receive an ascension today, that means you are allowing yourself to tap into your own divine frequency. There is nothing here that I am projecting onto you. I am not putting you in a hypnotic state to put something into you, because that's just not possible. If you are willing, you bring in everything, and that could be good or bad. So how about we just create a safe, loving space here where we can bring in the good energies, we can bring in the divine frequencies that allow us to vibrate where we want our life to be, where we want our body to heal and everything around us to work harmoniously and aligned. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you for accepting me in this transmission. So I'd really like to guide you to close your eyes now, if you can. Now, I know some people like to listen when they drive, and I understand that you may not be able to close your eyes. I mean, if you want to pull over and park, great, do so. But you can still tap into the heart connection. So by closing your eyes, you're locking and blocking out distractions. If you are driving, you stay focused on your driving. You stay focused on all the things you have to do for your safety and the safety of those around you. Now just breathe, breathe, breathe. Deep breath in. Now when you breathe, I want you to feel the expansion of your lungs. I want you to even push your belly out when you breathe in. I know that's weird for some who are really strong up breathers, but I want you to breathe in and push your belly out. And when you do it with your mouth, you get a nice big burst of oxygen. So as I breathe in, I'm pushing air deep into my lungs. It might make you a little dizzy. So if you're driving, be cautious of that. Slow it down. Deeper, slow breaths. Breathe in through the nose, out. Breathing in. And out through the nose. Nice calm feeling. In through the mouth. Out through the nose. And I would like you to keep breathing in that nice pace. In breath. Guiding your body into a beautiful zone. A harmonious place where your breath and your blood are pumping at the same rate. Breathing deep into the belly. Maybe just hold a moment and exhale through the nose. Breathing deep into the body. Maybe at a count of 5. Deep, slow in breath and out through the nose. Nice and slow to a count of 5 at the maximum. We are regulating the nervous system. We are bringing ourselves into harmony, into alignment. And if you are capable, adjust your posture, rocking a little bit until you find yourself center and you feel no stress into your hips, no stress into the lower back. Pulling the shoulders back a little bit to support your spine. Breathing in. Feeling the openness of the lungs and the openness of your heart. You can't help it, can you? You feel the vibrations around you. You feel something trying to work into your mind. I want you to feel into it. Feel that. Is it a good feeling? Does it bring tears out? Does it bring goosebumps? What are the feelings you feel as you're breathing in and breathing out? I want you to tap into what you can see. If your eyes are closed, do you see a light? Do you see a color? Do you see spots? You are welcome to share those comments when we finish. I want you to really tap into that. For me, I see a purple light. My divine connection shows me when I am connected with that purple light growing brighter and stronger from a distance. And as I get closer and more connected, it shows me a bright cloud of divine, glorious rays of purple light. The white and purple come through for me, and I know that I am now in my harmonious vibration. What is it for you? Is it white? Is it gold? Is it yellow? Is it green? If you are just seeing black, please reach out. We can work together to help you tap into the dot of light that is in there. I have been in that place where everything just looked black, and it was so hard to find the light, but it is there. And you must find it and focus on it. Focus on the beautiful light growing stronger in your mind's eye. If you're driving, I want you to really just feel the vibrations in your body. Feel the excitement growing in your nervous system. Feel the connection, the tingles going through your body. That is your connection. That is your divine ascension happening right there. Feel excited to see yourself slow down and stop where you need to stop. Feel yourself excited that you are going with the flow of traffic and everything is aligned. Feel excited that you are in this divine place, guiding you safely in your journey. With your eyes closed or open, however you are guided here, I want you to feel that tingle and feel that alignment. Rock the body and move the body. If you feel any pain, you feel any strain, breathe. Breathe healing into that. Breathe healing, because as you breathe, oxygen comes in, and oxygen is needed for cellular repair. Breathe in, knowing that you are helping bring oxygen into every cell of the body. And the divine healing is growing stronger, and that light is growing brighter as that healing comes into wherever it is in your body. You might feel pain somewhere sharp, and it is now blinding you to your divine connection. You can only feel the pain. I want you to put a color to it. I want you to put a shape to it. If that pain is in your hip or in your back or in your neck or your shoulder or your head, what's it look like? What's it feel like? What color is it? Is it a sound? Is it loud? I want you to guide it. Breathe. 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 Bring the sound down. Change the color. Make the color you feel good about. Is that color purple? Is that color white? What is your color of healing? Is it green, like a leaf, looking strong and healthy? I want you to guide your pain into that beautiful divine space that you vibrate in. I bring this to you. Breathe. Breathe. Guide you. I cannot bring that healing into you and fix you from here. I can only help you find it in yourself. And when my eyes are closed, the divine light that is showing to me is vast. I know that I am reaching people through avenues like YouTube and avenues like TikTok and maybe Facebook and Instagram as this gets shared around. Feeling the breath of life, of oxygen coming through my cells, I know that I am helping others feel that within them with this guidance. And I'm grateful that you listen. I'm grateful that you follow those directions and you feel into yourself that vibration, that beautiful connection to your own divine spark and your own divine architecture that lives inside, that is whole, unbroken, and also wants you to vibrate in the same frequency of wholeness. Breathe. Thanks to that body. Breathe thanks to that divine spark of guidance. Breathe thanks and gratitude to the pain that is telling you where you need to send most love. Send the blueprint of your divine architecture to that location for the best healing, that cellular repair that helps your body stay strong. It may take time, but it's still working for your benefit. How good does that feel? If you are ready, I'd like you to open your eyes. How amazing does that feel? How many of you joined me in that ascension? How many of you tapped into that beautiful hypnosis into yourself, breathing in the light? I'd love to get your comments. I'd love to see how many people enjoyed this. I appreciate the feedback. If I went too fast, if I missed something, if I didn't guide you well, I felt it, and I felt it was good. So I have a belief and a feeling and a vibration that I have helped someone somewhere. And I'm grateful if that's true. But you can do this for yourself. You can tap in, you can breathe, you can guide yourself at any time. Thank you for joining me in this transmission today. I hope that it's giving you a little perspective about pain as a communication tool, and how, in learning about that communication tool, feeling into that pain of understanding where it's coming from and why it's there, you can use it to your advantage. You can actually come into the divine spark within you. You can actually come into the body and actually help yourself. Well, I wasn't able to engage on TikTok so much. I didn't have much engagement on YouTube this morning, but I don't mind, because this is going to stay available to public in some way for people to tap in at any time, for you to pop in notes at any time, and we will be able to communicate when we see each other again. I hope you've enjoyed this transmission, and I look forward to sharing another transmission with you again in the future as Alex and I bring these Ascension transmissions home. This will not replace your religion. This will elevate you the way religion wants you to be. They want you to elevate in your connection to your spiritual power, to God, to Allah. Yes, to Yahweh, to Krishna, to Buddha, to feel into the frequency of these spiritual harmonious in our life. When we have harmony in our life, things just tend to go right. Money comes in, friends and family connect. Those relationships with strangers just work better. So I know that would be what you'd really want. I know somewhere, if you're watching this, it's because you crave that harmony. And if I can help with this transmission, get you into a frequency of harmony in yourself, you can vibrate at that frequency for others. That smile it puts on your face, that energy that just comes out of you, is going to be a fantastic thing to share. So thank you very much for watching. I look forward to sharing again soon.